This morning I spoke with my good friend Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer, and I conveyed to him the deepest condolences of the American people. This could have been any one of our communities. So I told Mayor Dyer that whatever help he and the people of Orlando need, they are going to get it. As a country, we will be there for the people of Orlando today, tomorrow, and for all the days to come.
Live with breaking news, this is News 13 at 11.
No act of hate or terror will ever change who we are or the values that make us Americans.
Words you just heard from President Barack Obama offering words of comfort after the deadly mass shooting at a nightclub in Orlando this morning. This is what we know right now. 50 people have died and 53 more are injured. Right now, you're taking a live look at Club Pulse in Orlando, Florida. This was the place where a gunman killed 50 people and injured 53 others just hours ago. Tonight, though, they are holding a candlelight vigil in honor of those who died. Governor Nikki Haley says her heart hurts at the news. She tweeted today, quote, "We don't have to agree all the time, but hate is never the answer. Pray for the injured and the families of the victims," end quote. The shootings come almost a year after 9 parishioners were killed at Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston. The anniversary of that shooting is Friday. North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory says the state Secretary of Public Safety is in contact with the Department of Homeland Security. They're determining what they can do to provide help to Florida. McCrory issued a statement today saying those killed were, quote, "innocent victims of an inexcusable act of violence," end quote. McCrory says his prayers goes out to the families, Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer, and the people of Orlando. McCrory has also ordered state flags on state property lowered to half-staff through sunset on Thursday.
You really can't describe it. I mean, you really can't, especially all the waiting to find out if your son's okay. It's horrible. I don't wish this on anybody. Yeah, he was shot. I don't know how many times.
Investigators are still at the scene trying to determine exactly what happened. Friends and family members of the many victims spent today trying to figure out if their loved ones are dead or alive. Craig Boswell joins us from Orlando with the latest.
A service was held Sunday night for victims of the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history.
We are heartsick and heartsore, but we are not defeated in this moment.
Police say Omar Mateen took an AR-15 assault rifle into a gay nightclub in Orlando and opened fire.
He was just basically just swiping around. No specific purpose, like just kind of just shooting anybody and anything.
Among the victims, 34-year-old Edward Sotomayor Jr., 23-year-old Stanley Almodovar, and 22-year-old Luis S. Vielma. Mateen called 911 to pledge his allegiance to ISIS and took several people hostage in a bathroom. A SWAT team decided to go in. A neighbor recorded sound of the massive shootout. Mateen was killed. One officer was injured. His Kevlar helmet is credited for saving his life. The FBI is now investigating the massacre as an act of terrorism. Mateen was a security guard. Born in New York, his family later moved to Florida. Mateen attended this Islamic center in Fort Pierce, Florida. The imam there says the shooting comes as a complete surprise.
I felt so bad for all the innocent poor people who are killed.
For much of the day, friends and family searched hospitals for people who were in the club. Jose Ornedo was searching for his brother.
He was in the club with three of his friends, and they made it out okay, but they lost him, and they don't know where he's at.
Many others continue to wait for news about loved ones. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Orlando, Florida.
And we've also learned Mateen was on the FBI's radar. He was interviewed by an agent back in 2013 after he apparently made inflammatory comments to co-workers. After the shooting, people gathered in Orlando to show their support. There were long lines of people waiting to donate blood after that mass shooting. The Pulse Ultra Club in Myrtle Beach held 2 moments of silence today to honor the victims of the shooting at Pulse in Orlando. The first took place at 6 o'clock as the city of Orlando held its vigil. A small gathering of people at the club watched the event unfold on national TV. A second larger vigil happened just moments ago at 11 o'clock. The Pulse Ultra Club, also a gay club, is not associated with Pulse in Orlando, but organizers say the vigils were an act of solidarity with the victims and larger LGBT community.
If you're gay, you're part of this family, you know. So it's all about, it doesn't matter who you know. It just like, you know, with any other shooting, they all come together, we do the same thing.
Employees of the Pulse Ultra Club say they will be stepping up their security at door checks as a precaution following the tragedy that happened in Orlando.